Alright, starting with the higher half of D tier, and what do we need to go with? The Cleveland show. So, yeah, this is down here because I've just always been in the ballpark of this show didn't really need to happen or exist. It's basically just modern Family Guy. And yeah, that's an arranged take. A more genuine criticism that people can have of the show, though, particularly those who are a fan of Cleveland as a character, is that this ruined him as a character. It made him go from, like, mellow old Cleveland to fucking stupid loud idiot number 45 or whatever. And yeah, that's no good. Aside from that, like, again, it's just, like, a really pointless show that kind of just merged into Family Guy in the end. I suppose it does maybe have its moments from time to time, but overall, it's just kind of, like, an obsolete from the beginning show that killed Cleveland as a character, depending on who you ask, so, yeah, it's down here. And next up, does anybody remember this? I tried looking for the name just staring at this and I couldn't find it. I had to look it up. It's Megalobox. And aside from the art style that seems to try to appeal to Cowboy Bebop, there's just nothing significant I can say about this. Granted, I didn't watch it all, but I watched what was there when it premiered, and yeah, I just have absolutely no opinion on this. I don't care to say much. It at least looks kind of neat, and that's about all I have to say. There's nothing really offensively bad about it. And next up is, oh my god, how do you even pronounce this? Some Christ. Oi boy bye. I probably totally butchered that, but I don't know why I even put this on here. It's kind of just like a joke show almost. It's Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but fucking sports equipment. I don't find it that funny or anything, so yeah, that's all what I have to say about it. There's really nothing else to say about this. Try to look it up with my butchered pronunciation if you can. I think it's on Aqua Teen Iceberg, so yeah. Okay, next is Laser Wolf. Oh boy. So, there's nothing inherently, like, insultingly bad with this show if you look for me, but it does get insultingly boring and blonde! I'm gonna sound like Chef Gordon Ramsay a lot during this, probably with the blonde, but that's just true. Yeah, like, I watched this and there's just absolutely nothing going for me for it. And again, like, there's nothing that happens in it to, like, an insulting degree to me, almost. I don't know if it's because of people who are, like, saying, like, no, it's good, I love it, and then I just look at it, I'm like, what are you talking about? And, yeah, that's about it. Like, I actually remember just being, like, bored in the previews to, like, an annoyed degree. Sorry to anybody who does like it with what I'm saying, but, I mean, I'm just being honest. I like how the wolves have their tongues sticking out, at least. I guess that's a little bit cute, but nothing more for me to say here about this. It's not lower just because, again, I guess I would at least rather look at this over the stuff that's, like, behind it. And next is God, Devil, and Bob. And I remember watching this and being a little bit interested in it, and, you know, it was kind of, like, unique compared to everything else when this was airing on Adult Swim, but unfortunately that's not much I have to say about this at all. Like, I do think some of the themes are pretty silly, and aside from that, I just don't give a shit about any of the characters on this, and again, blonde, boring, but yeah, that's just all what I have to say on Bob, the Devil, and God. I said that completely off order, but you get it. And next up is Decker. I mean, yeah, this is like the most probably mid-below effort show ever that I can put on here. Definitely the least good thing this guy appeared in. I mean, I guess maybe it has some of that Tim and Eric charm, but overall, what I can sum this up is that it's just, like, something that should have been one skit that somehow they thought they could drag out into an entire show, but just, no, it that doesn't fucking work. This is going on way too long for something that's just like ultimately like, haha, Mary Sue special agent making a funny dumb face, and that's all I have to say about it. And next up is Delocated, and I'll be honest, the reason why it's in this tier is just because I saw this like here and there forever ago, and I barely remember it. I do remember adults advertising it a lot more though, like especially the final episode. I don't know if my opinion on this would change, if it'd be higher or lower if I went back to it now, but aside from that, like, I mean, when I watched it then, there was just nothing significant about it that I could pick up on. Like, I mean, it's higher D tier, that's not bad, but yeah, just like nothing to say about it as I've been going on about this. Next up is Michiko and Hyundai. So I saw the first like couple of episodes of this when this premiered. It did stick it out to me, but again, it's down here because again, like, who the fuck remembers this show? Positives I can say, I guess it's just like the character design and stuff. Like, it definitely has like unique looking people for an anime, and they promote the first episode a lot, which is probably why it's in my head, but it was a sad situation, even though it kind of ends really quickly, and felt like they really want to hammer in that point, but it just goes kind of nowhere, and the rest of the show is just whatever. And yeah, that's about all I have to say. It's just something that I don't really have any intent to like think about or go back to. And next up is the Jellies. Oh, this is a sad one, because this is one I feel like I could have liked more, because it sounded promising when Tyler, the creator, was like promoting it before it aired, because I liked what he was saying. He was like, alright, we're gonna have a cartoon, and the main character is gonna be a black kid, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, he's not gonna be shooting anybody, he's not gonna be playing basketball, that's just it. But then when it aired, it was like, okay, this is just kind of average, whatever, but that's not too bad. But then, I don't know, they also have this one, like, jelly character who's, like, this, like, fucking, like, horny hooker drugged out aunt or whatever, and it's like, okay, and this is just my opinion, by the way, like, it's like, okay, if you're gonna do that and make sure, like, the main character isn't a stereotype, which is applying, but did I say applying? I meant applauding. But then you go ahead and insert a character like that, it's like you kind of just ruined your point a little bit, and that was like my main turn away from the show. And on a personal level, I remember Tyler saying nobody fucking remembers Fillmore, and I took that personally. Okay, next up is probably the most disappointingly boring show on here, in my opinion, which is Frisky Dingo, because this is something I think about during that like mid-2000s era of Adult Swim, but I have this odd memory of the same episode of this coming on again and again and again, of like his kids sitting there like in their living room and some like show or commercial about pickles coming on TV. Like, they air that all the time for some reason, but forever later, like over a decade or so later, I was like, oh yeah, Frisky Dingo, that show that looked like Archer, I should go back to it and watch it. I remember it, and just fucking nothing happening. So fucking boring, but like, I mean, it's kind of memorable, at least, of like the design of Killface, but that's about all I have to say about it. And next is Hunter x Hunter. I did watch this when it first aired. I stayed up all night for some reason. I just didn't feel like going to bed, and I watched the first 15 episodes, and then I stopped there. I did hear stuff about what goes on later, but I'm just simply not interested. I'm not interested in fucking watching any, like, anime series that go on forever and ever and ever anymore. And yeah, it's just down here because I haven't seen it all, and I don't care to watch the rest of it, and there's not much else I think about it. I mean, there wasn't inherently bad about it, but there just was stuff I didn't like about it. Like, for example, like, kind of annoyed me how everybody just, like, immediately started out super overpowered and, like, able to do anything. It was just kind of, like, whatever to me. And there are also some other cliches that kind of, like, made me roll my eyes. But yeah, that's about all I want to say on Hunter x Hunter. And next is Soul Eater. This is going to be the show I have, like, probably the least to say about it. I have not seen all of this, and I saw a bit when it first aired, and I hardly remember much about it, and I don't think anything of it. I remember the moon's design at least, but yeah, that's why it's just here, just simply because I have, like, no opinion on it after seeing it. And next is Family Guy, and it's down here because I just simply don't like Family Guy, particularly the episodes after the first run. Okay, like, everything that you see from, like, Family Guy for the past, like, 2 decades or whatever now at this point, I hate it. I could go on and on saying why I don't like it, but I won't waste your time here. The earliest episodes, I do think are more watchable and have charm. I used to watch this show all the fucking time in the 2000s, by the way, before I started hating it. But, yeah, like, I did recently watch those again for the first time forever. There were still a lot of, like, things and Family Guy gimmicks that I really don't like that still happen in those, but it was at least more charming. Like, I genuinely really like seeing the 3-story format episode again, like, particularly the one where they get superpowers. Like, I did enjoy that a lot. That might just be my favorite episode because of that, mainly the whole entire, like, NSYNC scene, but yeah. And next is King of the Hill. Now, like with Rick and Morty, if I made this tier list, like, back in, like, 2014 or 13 or something, King of the Hill would be up way higher, but I've just gone to like the show less and less and less. This might be controversial because of memes and stuff, but the more and more I watch, like, King of the Hill now, like, in hindsight and get older, the more and more I dislike some of, like, the quote-unquote, like, morals they have in it, and, like, I do think some of the lessons are kind of, like, really bad that they try to tell in there, and I start to like Hank and Hank less as a character. Like, I get, like, memes, ha ha ha, but, like, when you really think about it, Hank is kind of like a judgmental asshole, especially towards Bobby. But yeah, I do still find the YouTube poops hilarious, and I guess there's some nostalgia for it, so there's that. And next is Korgoth. Yes, this pilot is on here, and it's at the top D because, I don't know, I guess a lot of people want the show to have potential, but I saw it before, and I just simply think nothing of it, and I don't really care much about it. And that's kind of a low note to say after, like, some, like, more controversial and deep end picks, but yeah, that ends D tier. Next is C tier, and this is the point where I'll start having more positives than negatives to say about it, and less indifferences, so see you then.